I know that you're carrying something heavy. Maybe it's a weight in your chest that won't go away, or maybe it's that strange, unsettling feeling that follows you from the moment you wake up until you finally fall asleep at night. You might not even be able to name it, but it's there. That sensation of being stuck, of watching your life unfold in ways you never imagined, and not in a good way. It feels like you're swimming against a current that's too strong, like every step forward pushes you 2 steps back. Your relationships feel strained, filled with arguments that seem to come out of nowhere. Your career or your purpose feels foggy and unclear. Your finances might be causing you sleepless nights. And worst of all, you feel alone in this struggle, like the universe itself has turned its back on you. But what if I told you that the exact opposite is true? What if the universe knows exactly what you're going through, has been watching you all along, and is actually trying to help you right now? Stay with me until the very end of this story, because what I'm about to share with you might completely change how you see your current situation. And here's what I need from you. If this story resonates with you, if something I say touches your heart or makes you think differently, leave a comment below. I want to hear from you. I want to know your thoughts, your experiences, and yes, tell me from which corner of the world you're watching this, but more importantly, we have a goal together. I need us to reach at least 100 comments on this video, because that's how we can continue bringing more inspiring stories like this one to you. The platform rewards engagement, and when you comment, when you watch until the end, and when you subscribe, you're not just helping this channel grow. You're actually ensuring that you'll be the first to receive the next message the universe wants to send your way. Those who watch completely and engage are remembered faster by the platform and get priority. So subscribe now, turn on notifications, and commit to staying until the final word. The universe is asking you to do just one simple thing. Leave a motivational comment on this video. That's your part in this cosmic exchange. Now let me tell you a story that will help you understand why everything you're experiencing right now is not random, not punishment, and definitely not abandonment. Her name was Sarah, and 6 months ago, if you had asked her to describe her life in one word, she would have said broken. Everything felt broken. Her marriage was falling apart through constant fighting and misunderstandings that seemed to come from nowhere. Her husband, Mark, had become a stranger to her, someone she argued with more than she laughed with. They would fight about small things, stupid things like how the dishes were loaded or whose turn it was to take out the trash. But both of them knew these arguments weren't really about dishes or trash. They were about something deeper, something neither of them could quite articulate. Sarah would lie awake at night, listening to Mark's breathing beside her, feeling more alone than she ever had when she was actually single. The bed felt cold, even though they shared it. The house felt empty, even though they both lived there. Every morning brought that strange sensation in her chest, that tightness that made it hard to breathe deeply, that feeling of impending doom that had no clear source. She would wake up and immediately feel wrong, like something terrible was about to happen, but she couldn't identify what. It was an anxiety that colored everything, turning even good moments gray and lifeless. Her career wasn't any better. Sarah had worked at the same company for 7 years, and she had watched as colleagues who started after her got promoted, while she remained in the same position. She applied for new jobs, went to interviews, and every single time she either didn't get the position or the offer fell through at the last minute. It was as if there was an invisible wall between her and success, a barrier she couldn't see but kept running into repeatedly. Her finances reflected this stagnation. Bills piled up. The car needed repairs she couldn't afford. The credit cards were maxed out. Every time she managed to save a little money, something would break or some unexpected expense would appear and wipe out whatever small progress she had made. It felt like the universe was playing a cruel game with her, like she was the butt of some cosmic joke that only she didn't find funny. But the worst part, the part that really made Sarah feel like she was drowning, was that she couldn't talk to anyone about it. Her friends seemed to have their lives together. Her family would just tell her to pray more or think positively, advice that felt hollow and unhelpful when she was barely holding on. She felt ashamed of her struggles, like they were evidence of some fundamental flaw in her character. Why was everyone else able to figure life out while she couldn't? What was wrong with her? These questions circled in her mind constantly, creating a loop of self-criticism that made everything worse. She would look at other people's social media and see their perfect lives, their happy relationships, their career achievements, their vacations and celebrations, and she would feel like a failure. She would wonder why the universe blessed everyone else, but seemed to have forgotten about her entirely. The mornings were the hardest for Sarah. That's when the weight of everything would hit her all at once, before she even had the chance to build up her defenses for the day. She would open her eyes, and for just a split second everything would be okay. But then reality would come crashing in like a wave, and she'd remember all the problems waiting for her. The tension with Mark, the job she hated, the bills she couldn't pay, the dreams she had given up on. Some mornings she would lie there for an extra 20 minutes, not because she was resting, but because she was gathering the strength to face another day that felt like a battle. She would drag herself out of bed, go through the motions of getting ready, paste on a smile for the world, and pretend that everything was fine. But inside, she was screaming. Inside, she was begging for someone, anyone, anything, to help her find a way out of this darkness. One particularly difficult Tuesday, after another explosive argument with Mark that ended with him sleeping in the guest room and her crying alone in their bedroom, Sarah hit her breaking point. She sat on the floor of her bathroom at 3 in the morning, having given up on sleep entirely, and she spoke out loud to the empty room. "I don't know if anyone is listening," she said, her voice hoarse from crying, "but I can't do this anymore. I need help. I need a sign. I need to know if there's any point to keep trying or if I should just give up on everything." It wasn't quite a prayer, and it wasn't quite a conversation, but it was the most honest she had been in months. She wasn't asking for $1 million or a perfect life. She was just asking for help, for guidance, for some indication that she wasn't completely alone in her struggle. Nothing dramatic happened in that moment. There was no lightning bolt, no voice from above, no sudden clarity. Sarah eventually went back to bed, fell into a restless sleep, and woke up the next morning feeling just as lost as before. She went through the motions of her day, her job, coming home to a tense and silent house where she and Mark moved around each other like ghosts. But then something small happened, something so small that she almost missed it entirely. She was standing in line at a coffee shop, mindlessly scrolling through her phone while waiting to order, when she overheard the conversation happening behind her. 2 women were talking, and one of them said something that made Sarah's head turn. "I used to think the universe had abandoned me," the woman said, "but I realized later that all those closed doors were actually protecting me from paths that would have destroyed me. The universe wasn't saying no, it was saying not yet, or not that, because it had something better waiting." Sarah felt something shift inside her chest, like a small crack appearing in the wall she had built around her heart. She didn't believe it. Not really. But something about those words stuck with her. She carried them home like a small precious stone in her pocket. That night, instead of avoiding Mark as she had been doing, she sat down across from him at the kitchen table. "We need to talk," she said, and for the first time in months, they actually talked. Not argued, not accused, but talked. They spoke honestly about how disconnected they felt, about how scared they both were, about how neither of them knew how to fix what felt broken between them. Mark admitted that he had been feeling like a failure, like he couldn't provide for their family the way he thought he should, and that his defensiveness and anger were really just fear and shame in disguise. Sarah admitted that she had been so focused on what wasn't working that she had stopped seeing what was still good, stopped appreciating the man sitting across from her who had stuck by her even when things got hard. It wasn't a magical fix. One conversation didn't repair months of damage, but it was a beginning, a small crack that let light in. And once that crack appeared, other things started to shift too. Sarah started noticing things she had been missing before. She started seeing the small ways the universe had actually been trying to guide her all along. That job she didn't get 3 months ago, the company had just announced massive layoffs. She would have been let go immediately. That apartment she and Mark had tried to rent last year but lost to another applicant. It had been flooded in a storm and would have cost them thousands in damages. The friend who had drifted away from her last year? Sarah discovered through mutual connections that this person had been involved in some seriously toxic behavior and drama that would have pulled Sarah down with her. All those closed doors, all those no's, all those disappointments that had felt like evidence of the universe's indifference or cruelty, they had actually been protection. They had been the universe saying, "I have something better for you, but you're not ready yet. I need you to learn something first. I need you to grow in a specific way. I need you to release something before I can give you what I have planned." Sarah started to understand that the pain she had been feeling, that strange sensation of everything being wrong, wasn't evidence that she was on the wrong path. It was evidence that she was in the process of transformation, and transformation always feels uncomfortable before it feels liberating. A caterpillar doesn't dissolve into soup inside a cocoon because something is wrong. It dissolves because that's the necessary process of becoming a butterfly. The caterpillar doesn't understand what's happening. It just knows that everything familiar is disappearing and everything feels wrong. But the universe knows. The universe understands that the dissolution is not destruction, it's preparation. Sarah began to look at her life differently. Instead of focusing on what wasn't working, she started asking different questions. Instead of, "Why is this happening to me?" she asked, "What is this trying to teach me?" Instead of, "Why won't the universe help me?" she asked, "How has the universe been helping me in ways I haven't recognized?" The answers started to appear everywhere. She realized that the financial struggles had taught her and Mark to work as a team, to communicate about money in ways they never had before, which actually brought them closer together. The career stagnation had forced her to really examine what she wanted to do with her life, instead of just climbing a ladder out of obligation and expectation. The loneliness had pushed her to develop a deeper relationship with herself, to learn to sit with her own thoughts and feelings instead of constantly distracting herself from them. The universe had known all along what Sarah needed, even when she didn't. The universe had been orchestrating circumstances, not to punish her, but to prepare her. Every argument with Mark was an opportunity to practice honest communication. Every rejected job application was a redirection towards something more aligned with her true purpose. Every financial setback was a lesson in resourcefulness and trust. Every moment of loneliness was an invitation to come home to herself. The pain was real, absolutely real, but it wasn't meaningless. It was the growing pain of a soul expanding beyond its old limitations. It was the discomfort of shedding skin that no longer fit. It was the ache of roots growing deeper before the tree can grow taller. 3 months after that night in her bathroom, when Sarah had asked for help, something remarkable happened. She was offered a position at a new company, something she hadn't even applied for because she didn't think she was qualified. A former colleague had recommended her, remembering her work ethic and creativity from years ago. The position was perfect for her skills and interests, with better pay and more flexibility. She almost didn't take it because of fear, because of the voice in her head that said she didn't deserve it or wasn't good enough. But something had changed in Sarah. She had started to trust the universe's timing. She had started to believe that doors open when they're supposed to open, and this door was opening now because now was the right time. She took the position. Within weeks, she knew it was exactly where she was supposed to be. The work energized her instead of draining her. Her colleagues valued her contributions. She felt alive in a way she hadn't felt in years. At home, things with Mark continued to improve slowly but steadily. They weren't perfect, and they still had hard days, but they were connected again. They were a team again. They had learned to fight for their relationship instead of against each other. They started going on walks together in the evenings, just talking about their days, sharing their fears and dreams, rebuilding the friendship that had gotten lost underneath years of stress and miscommunication. Sarah realized that the universe hadn't been keeping good things from her. It had been building her capacity to receive and appreciate good things. If she had gotten that dream job 2 years ago, when she first wanted it, she would have approached it from a place of insecurity and fear, and she probably would have self-sabotaged. If her relationship with Mark had been easy all along, they never would have developed the depth and resilience they now had. The struggles had forged something stronger than comfort ever could. Here's what Sarah learned, and what I want you to understand right now as you're going through your own difficult season. The universe is not indifferent to your pain. The universe is not punishing you. The universe is not testing you to see if you'll break. The universe is on your side, working behind the scenes in ways you cannot see yet. arranging circumstances and connections and opportunities that will make sense later. That feeling you have right now, that sensation that something is wrong, that everything is falling apart, that you're somehow cursed or forgotten, that feeling is actually evidence that you're in the middle of a major transformation. You're not being broken down, you're being broken open. There's a difference. Breaking down means destruction. Breaking open means expansion. Your heart is breaking open to hold more love than it could before. Your mind is breaking open to understand truths it couldn't grasp in its old framework. Your life is breaking open to make room for a version of yourself you haven't met yet, but who is already waiting for you on the other side of this struggle. Every argument, every disappointment, every setback, every moment of loneliness and confusion and pain, they are all part of a larger pattern that you cannot see from your current vantage point. It's like looking at a tapestry from the backside. All you can see are tangled threads and knots and chaos that doesn't make any sense. But the universe is looking at the front of the tapestry, where all those threads come together to create a beautiful, intricate image. You can't see the full picture yet because you're still in the middle of it. You're still one of the threads being woven through the fabric. But the universe sees the whole thing, and it's beautiful, and it's purposeful, and it's leading somewhere worth going. The closed doors are protecting you from paths that would have taken you away from your true purpose. The delays are giving you time to develop skills and wisdom you'll need for what comes next. The loneliness is teaching you to be complete within yourself, so that your future relationships can be based on choice rather than need. The financial struggles are training you to value things that money can't buy, and to be resourceful in ways that will serve you forever. I know it's hard to believe this when you're in the middle of the pain. I know how real that strange feeling in your chest is, how exhausting it is to wake up every day feeling like you're fighting a battle you didn't sign up for. I know how devastating it is to watch relationships crumble despite your best efforts, to face rejection after rejection, to feel like you're doing everything right, but still getting everything wrong. I know. But I also know this. The universe has not forgotten you. The universe knows exactly where you are and exactly what you need. The help you've been asking for is already on its way. It might not look the way you expect. It might not come as quickly as you want, but it's coming. The signs are already appearing if you know how to look for them. They might come as unexpected conversations, like Sarah overheard in that coffee shop. They might come as sudden insights or ideas that pop into your head out of nowhere. They might come as opportunities that seem too good to be true. They might come as losses that hurt now, but later reveal themselves as blessings in disguise. Your job is not to force things or to figure everything out right now. Your job is simply to stay open, to keep showing up, to keep doing the next right thing even when you can't see where the path is leading. Trust that the universe is guiding you even when you can't feel the guidance. Trust that you're exactly where you need to be, learning exactly what you need to learn. Trust that the pain has a purpose, and the purpose is not your destruction, but your evolution. You are not alone in this. You are held by forces you cannot see, but which are more real than anything you can touch. The universe is conspiring in your favor, even now, especially now, in the middle of your hardest season. And here's something else Sarah discovered that I want you to know. The universe speaks through us to each other. When you share your story, when you leave a comment, when you connect with others who are going through similar struggles, you become part of how the universe helps other people. Your comment on this video might be exactly what someone else needs to hear tomorrow. Your story might be the sign someone else has been praying for. So please, don't keep this to yourself. Share what you're feeling. Tell me what resonated with you. Let me know if you've experienced this kind of pain and what you've learned from it. We're in this together, all of us, trying to make sense of this beautiful, difficult, mysterious journey called life. The universe works through community and connection, and your voice matters. Your experience matters. You matter. Let me tell you something else about Sarah's journey that's important for you to understand. About 5 months into her transformation, she hit another rough patch. This is something people don't talk about enough. Healing isn't linear. Growth doesn't happen in a straight line. There was a week where everything seemed to regress. She and Mark had another big fight. She made a mistake at her new job that made her question whether she belonged there. Old anxieties came rushing back, and that familiar tightness in her chest returned. For a moment, She thought she had been fooling herself, that nothing had really changed, that she was still the same broken person she had always been. But here's what was different this time. She recognized what was happening. She understood that this wasn't evidence of failure. It was evidence that she was still in process, still growing, still learning. The universe wasn't abandoning her again. The universe was giving her an opportunity to practice everything she had learned, to prove to herself that she could handle difficult moments differently now. Sarah sat with her discomfort instead of running from it. She talked to Mark about her feelings instead of shutting down. She asked for help at work instead of trying to hide her mistake. She treated herself with compassion instead of harsh criticism. And you know what happened? The rough patch passed more quickly than it would have before. She bounced back faster. She learned deeper lessons. She became more resilient. This is what the universe does. It doesn't just change your external circumstances, it changes you from the inside out, giving you the tools and the strength to handle whatever life throws at you. The universe wasn't just trying to give Sarah a better job or a better marriage. The universe was trying to make Sarah into someone who could appreciate and maintain those blessings when they arrived. Think about your own life right now. Think about all the times you've asked for something and didn't get it, or got it but lost it, or almost got it but watched it slip through your fingers at the last second. In those moments, it felt cruel, didn't it? It felt like the universe was dangling happiness in front of you and then snatching it away. But what if the universe was actually saying, "You're not ready yet. If I give this to you now, you won't be able to keep it. You'll sabotage it or lose it, or it will destroy you. Let me prepare you first. Let me build your foundation. Let me strengthen you. Let me teach you what you need to know so that when this blessing comes back around, you'll be ready to receive it fully and keep it permanently." The universe operates on a timeline that doesn't match our human impatience. We want everything now, immediately, yesterday. But the universe knows that some things require time to develop properly. A seed planted in the ground doesn't become a tree overnight. It sits in darkness, underground, invisible, seemingly doing nothing for weeks or months. But beneath the surface, incredible things are happening. Roots are forming, growing deeper and stronger, creating the foundation that will eventually support the entire tree. If you dug up the seed after a week because you were impatient to see the tree, you would kill it. The darkness and the waiting aren't evidence that nothing is happening. They're evidence that the most important work is happening in places you cannot see yet. This is where you are right now. You're underground, you're in the darkness, you're in the waiting, and it feels terrible because you can't see what's being built. You can't see the roots growing deeper. You can't see the strength being developed. You can't see the preparation happening. All you can feel is the discomfort and the fear and the pain. But the universe sees it all. The universe knows that you're not stuck. You're germinating. You're not forgotten. You're being formed. You're not abandoned. You're being shaped into something magnificent that couldn't have existed without this exact process you're going through right now. Sarah eventually shared her story with others, and she was amazed by how many people told her they were going through something similar. People she thought had perfect lives admitted they were struggling too. People she admired confessed they felt lost and broken. And every single person said the same thing. "I thought I was the only one. I thought everyone else had it figured out. I thought something was wrong with me specifically." This is one of the universe's cruelest tricks, the way it makes us feel isolated in our pain, when the truth is that pain is the most universal human experience. Everyone is struggling with something. Everyone has that strange feeling in their chest sometimes. Everyone wonders if they're on the wrong path or if the universe has forgotten them. You're not uniquely broken. You're having a completely normal human experience that feels abnormal because we don't talk about it honestly enough. The universe is speaking to you through this story right now. The fact that you're still reading, still here, still engaged, that's not an accident. The universe guided you to this message at this exact moment because you needed to hear it. Something in your spirit recognized truth in these words, even if your logical mind is still skeptical. Trust that recognition. Trust that pull. Trust that there's a reason you found this story today at this time in your life. The universe is confirming what a part of you already knows. You're not alone, you're not forgotten, and everything is going to work out in ways you cannot imagine yet. If you've made it this far, I want you to know something. You're stronger than you think. You're more resilient than you feel right now. You're more loved by the universe than you can possibly imagine. The fact that you're here, reading these words, searching for answers and hope, that tells me you haven't given up. Part of you still believes that things can get better, that there's a reason to keep going, that meaning can be found even in the mess. That part of you that still believes. That's the universe speaking to you from inside your own heart. That's the divine spark that cannot be extinguished no matter how dark things get. Trust that part of yourself. Follow that light, even when it's just a tiny flicker. It knows the way forward, even when your logical mind is lost and confused. The pain you're feeling right now is not the end of your story. It's not even the middle. It's the beginning of a new chapter, one where you emerge stronger, wiser, more compassionate, and more aligned with your true purpose. The universe knows this, even if you don't yet. The universe is holding this vision of your transformed self, waiting patiently for you to grow into it, supporting you through every difficult step of the journey. You are so close to a breakthrough. You are so close to understanding. You are so close to the moment when everything shifts and you look back on this painful season and say, "Oh, now I see why that had to happen. Now I understand what I was being prepared for." Keep going. Keep trusting. Keep believing that you're not alone and that you haven't been forgotten. Because you haven't. The universe knows your pain, sees your struggle, and is already working on your behalf to bring you through to the other side, where joy and peace and purpose are waiting for you. Every tear you've cried has been counted. Every prayer you've whispered has been heard. Every moment of despair has been witnessed by a universe that loves you more than you can comprehend. You are being held even when you feel like you're falling. You are being guided even when you feel lost. You are being transformed even when you feel stuck. This is not the end. This is not even close to the end. This is just the challenging middle part of a story that has a beautiful ending already written in the stars. And if you want, tell me from which corner of the world you are watching this video. Your comment matters and I want to read it and respond to you. For more exciting stories like this, click on the video that appears on your screen right now.